Okay, I just want to start out by saying that obviously our first priority is the health and safety of our players, our coaches, everyone in the organization and their families. My thoughts and prayers are with Kevin and all our players and coaches that have tested positive for this virus. I'm both honored and humbled to have this opportunity, but make no mistake, this is Kevin's team. He's laid the foundation of a smart, tough, accountable, resilient team. And I'll do whatever's asked of me to help the Cleveland Browns get a win on Sunday night. I do love this city. I think you guys know that. And our fans deserve our best effort. That's what we plan on giving them on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Coach. With that, now we'll head into questions. The first question will go to Jake Trotter.
Yeah, hey, Mike, you kind of touched on it just now, but what is your approach going to be this week? And then what is it going to be once you get to the game Sunday night?
Well, the approach this week, nothing changes special teams wise. We've been doing the meetings and hopefully we'll get in the building at some point and get some work done on the practice field. But that part hasn't changed. The only thing that's different is that I've taken on more of a, game management type stuff. I've met with our game management type, coaches that do a great job, Dave and Ryan and Coach Stefanski and I have been in contact, and we'll continue to be in contact with him throughout the week and going over certain situations that will normally come up, obviously, in the course of a football game. That's really the only big difference for me to get ready for Sunday.
Not every coach is the same. So if you get into some decision-making situation Sunday night, obviously you consult, the team you were just talking about, but do you try to channel Kevin, or do you be your own guy? How is that going to work for you guys Sunday?
You're right. Everybody's different, but I'm going to try to be an extension of Kevin. He's done a great job with situational football. He and I have, obviously, you guys know my background with him. We've learned a lot of football over the years together. We've talked situational football throughout the year. We've talked about it, during the week and even on game day. We talk situational football. So being in the position that I'm in on special teams, I understand situational football, and I'm kind of into that mode anyway on game day. So that part won't change, but I'm going to try to do exactly what Kevin would want to have happen in those situations.
Thank you, Jake. The next question goes to Tom Withers.
Thank you, Rob. Hey, Coach. Obviously, an extraordinary week. These are extraordinary circumstances. Coaches adjust and adapt. How difficult has the challenge been this week? I know you've had contingency plans in place, Mike, but how difficult has this been to manage?
Well, it's like every morning you wake up and say, what else can you deal with? Everything's been different, but from the leadership with, and Andrew and Kevin on down to the coaches and even our players, we've been so adaptive. We've been so flexible. We've been so resilient and just fighting through every piece of adversity that we've had to deal with this year. And I think we've done a great job with that thus far. And we're going to continue to do so.
And as far as practice today, does it look like you guys are going to be able to get in there?
We're not sure yet.
Very good. And how tough is that, Mike? I know you said, adapt and virtual and all that, but not getting to practice before a playoff game.
I've talked with our players about that this morning. I had a special teams meeting. I talked with our specialists about it. We've got a lot of reps under our belt. We've got a lot of practice reps. We've got a lot of game reps, and that's what we have to rely on. We have to fall back on that experience and then, know the mental part of it, know the schemes, know what we have to do, rely on our fundamentals and techniques, and go out and play fast and physical.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Mary Kay Cabot, we'll go to you.
Yeah, Coach, can you just maybe talk a little bit about how you've done this one other time before, and how does that help you heading into this game, and what may have caught you off guard in that game, and what are you going into this time around having a little bit better of a handle on?
Well, the first time it happened, Coach Zimmer had emergency eye surgery the day before the game. So I didn't know until after the mass on Wednesday night. It was a Thursday night game. So Rick Spielman, our general manager in Minnesota, he grabbed me right after that meeting and said, "Oh, by the way, you're going to be the head coach tomorrow night. Do you want to do it?" I said, "Absolutely." So I didn't have much time to think about it. This time there's a little bit more time to think about it. But I wasn't caught off guard by anything. The thing that I learned the most is that you have to have good people around you. And we do have good people around. We've got, Alex will do a great job running the offense. Joel continue to do a great job running the defense. And all our coaches will step up. Our players will step up as they normally do, as they have done all season long.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Thank you, Mary Kay. Our next question goes to Tony Grossi.
Hey, Mike, I want to ask you, on the few occasions where you're in a timeout, there are always 2 or 3 of these in any game. and you're in a timeout on the sideline, and ordinarily the head coach would consult with the guy upstairs, your data guy upstairs, for all the information he needs. And then the head coach makes the decision based on the data. Are you assured that that decision will still be yours and not the guy upstairs?
Oh, that'll be my decision.
Okay. And the other question is, there's a discrepancy in what I've seen in the reporting. How long on Sunday, what's the cutoff point where Kevin can talk to the coaches or the team? Is it your understanding it's right before kickoff, or is it 90 minutes before kickoff?
That's the one detail I've not been told. Sorry, I can't help you there.
Okay. And would one last thing, would you be the deliver the last speech before the team goes on the field, or would that be Kevin?
Yeah, no, I think in the locker room, you mean?
Yes.
Before the game?
Yes.
I'm sure I'll be doing that.
All right. Thank
I'll
you.
keep it short and sweet, I promise.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Tony. We'll go to Scott Petrick next.
Hey, Mike, how unsettling do you think it is for the players not to have Kevin when you guys practice and actually on the field for Sunday?
Because of how Kevin has set this whole thing up, and he's such a humble guy to begin with. It's never been about him. It's always been about the team. And that's the way I plan on leading on Sunday. So it's not about me. It's not about really any one person. It's about the Cleveland Browns. It's about our team. It's about how we've been built, how we've practiced and met and played all season long. And I think we're going to fall back on that foundation, on that experience. And I don't think the guys will be unsettled at all, to be honest with you.
And if you guys are able to practice today, do you know if you get any more guys back off the COVID list?
I don't know about that yet.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Hey, Mike, have you received word yet whether you guys have had any positives today?
I have not received word. Kevin's still handling all the head coaching duties. I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that stuff. He's doing a great job. He's still doing the head coaching stuff, and he will continue to do so up until kickoff, I'm sure.
Okay. How long have you known about this contingency plan that you were the next man up for Kevin, and what was it like when you discussed it, whenever that was?
Kevin let the staff know, I believe, either back in the spring or before training camp started. I can't remember when, but it's long before the season started.
Okay.
These guys have a plan. Andrew and Kevin, they plan out pretty much everything.
Obviously, Alex Van Pelt's a part of that plan too.
Sure.
What's your confidence level in him taking over a big part of Kevin's job?
100% confidence. Alex is a great football coach. He'll do a great job.
Thank you, Nate. We'll go to Marla Ridenour.
Yeah, Mike, I'm asking you this because it doesn't look like we're talking to Kevin today. Yesterday's events at the Capitol, were pretty unsettling for some of the players, judging by what they were posting on social media. Will anybody address that if you had your meeting, or did anybody say anything, or will you?
That I don't believe that's my job. Obviously, I'm keeping track of the events in our country and want people to be peaceful and all that sort of thing. But I don't think this is the time or the place to talk about it. And I think if it needs to be addressed with the team, Kevin will do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Marla. Next up, Jeff Shadell.
Hey, Mike, a quick one. Are you going to designate or delegate more authority to Doug Coleman on special teams, or are you going to just handle that like you normally would?
I plan on handling special teams like I normally do, but Doug does a great job. He communicates well with the players. He and I look at the pictures and then we make adjustments. He'll be doing more of that on his own, I would think, because I have to stay closer to the action. But because I normally stay closer to the action based on the ebb and flow of a football game in the first place, he'll continue to do what he does, and he'll do a great job. And whatever communication has to be done with the players, he'll do more of that. I would think he would handle more of that than he would on normal game day. But I'm still going to make the calls. I'm still going to do what I normally do on game day.
Thank you, Jeff. Steve Dorshik has our next question.
Mike, from the standpoint you've been here a while and can assess the squad and its strength, what do you like about this year's Browns team? What got this year's Browns team to the point that it had some ups and downs the previous 2 years, but now is a playoff team?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, from a leadership standpoint, from our general manager and head coach to our staff, who's got a bunch of guys that work hard, that are humble, that don't mind giving other people credit. to our players who have stepped up time and time again when they needed to. When we've lost a guy to injury or to COVID, the next man comes up and he's well prepared. It's an exciting team in that regard. I think they got a bunch of good people, got a bunch of good young men that have played hard for us all year. And I think, when you have a team like that and we've weathered a bunch of storms and we've won a bunch of football games, I think, it's an exciting time for our city. It's an exciting time for our organization.
Thank you, Steve. Jake Trotter, back to you.
Yeah, Mike, there's this, maybe this sense out there, well, they're not going to have Kevin Sunday night. Joel Petonio's out. You're going to have other guys out. But, it's been a great season, but, it's going to be tough on Sunday. What do you say to that? And what is your attitude what is the attitude of the players and the team, despite some of the setbacks you've had in terms of who you're going to have available Sunday?
Well, if you guys would have been in the locker room after the win on Sunday afternoon, these guys are excited. They are extremely prepared, extremely excited about this opportunity. We've had a next man up mentality all season long, and that applies to the head coach, to coordinators, to other coaches on the staff, and to every player on our football team. So, we plan on giving our best effort on Sunday night and play after play after play, playing physical, playing fast, win the turnover battle, do the things that have helped us win games all year long. That's not going to change.
Thank you, Jake. Scott Petrick, you're next.
Hey, Mike, it's not just Kevin. Obviously, there's other coaches that are out this week. So how tough will that be for practice and Sunday, just trying to juggle who handles what?
Like we had a contingency plan for if Kevin went down, we have contingency plans for when other coaches go down as well. And it's amazing, this staff, they keep doing things that you never thought we'd have to do this. You know what I mean? It's been a crazy time, but because we've had this plan since day one, and we're just executing that plan. Those contingency plans have been there and they've been in place for a while, and now they're just putting them to work.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott. Tony Grossi, you're up.
Mike, having been through this one time before under Mike Zimmer, what did you find to be the greatest challenge on game day for you?
The headphones, because I don't like wearing headphones. I wore headphones. That was 2016, I believe. I had not worn them since I coached in college at Northern Illinois, and I don't like wearing them. So I think the players in Minnesota were making fun of me for how I was taking them off, putting them on, adjusting them, filling with them for the first 10 minutes of the game, trying to figure out the most comfortable way to wear them. But in all seriousness, I don't recall being a huge challenge. I think you just go out and take on those duties and do them to the best of your ability and have players show up. And, that night our players played their tails off, our coaches coached their tail off, and we lost a tough game to a 10-1 football team. But it was a great experience, and, hopefully we'll go out and play the way Kevin would want us to play on Sunday night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Nate Orrick, back to you.
Mike, what's it been like this week? I know you guys have been all virtual, but Kevin's involvement, how heavily involved is he? Is it like he would be at any other time up to this point because you haven't been on the field?
Absolutely. Same thing.
Okay. And I know you mentioned earlier how much this area means to you and everything. And I know you don't want to make it about yourself, but is it a bit surreal? Brown's first playoff game in 18 years, and this is how it's unfolded, you being from here.
I feel awful for Kevin. I feel awful for Joel. I feel awful for the other players that aren't going to be involved. Other coaches aren't going to be involved, because this means something to everybody. We're kind of a big family, coaches and players and the organization. And when you don't have everybody there, I feel for those guys, and especially Kevin being a first-year head coach. And I know he doesn't want to be about him, but a lot of it is about him and what he's accomplished, what we've accomplished together. Is it surreal? I guess so. I haven't really thought about that part of it, because there's a lot of work to be done. But maybe someday, we'll look back and think about it that way. But right now, it's business as usual, and we got to go get a win.
Thank you, Nate. We'll take one more question. It goes to Scott Petrick.
Mike, you talked about getting the help for the decisions, the game management kind of stuff. I was wondering how much of that is decided during the week before you get to Sunday, and as far as if we're 4th and 2 here, we're going to go for it, or this is when we want to use our timeouts.
A lot of that is planned out prior to, but on game day, you know how it is. It's every situation's a little bit different. And I think where that gray area comes in, that's where the head coach has to make those decisions.
And is that something where during a normal week, are you in any of those meetings with Kevin?
We have game management meetings every week. Yes, sir.